have an executive, and the executive body made up of Mr. Chair, Mr. Olasu, as your public relations, Mr. Dwayne Macoon, as your assistant treasurer, Ms. Paula Coleman, as our assistant secretary, Mrs. Abigail Pascasio as the treasurer, Ms. Adeline Estero as the secretary, Ms. Veronica Tum as the vice chair lady, and myself, Mark Thompson, as the chairperson. Okay, what happened is that when we took over, we looked at Ms. Paula was the caretaker of Wabagari. And her responsibility was to just hold on to whatever Wabagari had at that time until there was the election. So what was turned over to us is, when we check on the articles of association, the registry, it wasn't up to date. It was dated 2015. So no one took the initiative to update this registry. If this registry is not updated, or any organization that is registered cannot function legally as a registered organization. So we'll have Mr. Dwayne Macoon. He will come up and explain to you what this registering entails and how it affects what we are trying to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dwayne Macoon. Right now, I'm acting in place right now, Vice Treasurer, or I should say Treasurer. What happened is, like Mr. Thompson alluded to earlier, just a minute ago, when we take over the association, Wabagari, previous administration hasn't been updating the registration at Belmopan. We're not an organization, we're not a legal organization, you cannot collect funds, you cannot do business, you don't have a stamp, you can't do any of those things without registering every year at Belmopan at the BCC or RCA. So what happened is, for the years where the previous years before we took over the association, for all those years, Wabagari has just been acting on a name. They haven't been legal, so to speak. So the previous administration, and I'm not going to go into details who those persons were that was on that previous administration, but they were not a legal body. They were just a name with no authority to collect money, no authority to do business, no authority to do anything. And apparently that was going on for several years, because if you look on the record, it's been since 2015. They haven't re-registered at Belmopan. You need to do it yearly. So with that said, that's what part of what we inherited, so to speak, when we took over Wabagari, when the new board took over Wabagari. We faced a lot of challenges, and that's one of the challenges that we faced, is to re-register the organization to be a legitimate, to be recognized worldwide and internationally, and also on the local scene, because nobody now recognizes you, nobody can give you no funding, you can't get no grants, you can't do anything, you can't collect monies, you can't open a bank account, you can't do any of the following things because you're not a legally registered body at Belmopan, right? So since we got in, that's what we've been working on. We've been working with a company called Blue Ventures, and an NGO also, and they're helping us in achieving that goal of registering Wabagari, or I should say re-registering Wabagari as a legal entity that could do all of the following like I just mentioned. So if you look by it, it's like like a pyramid, you know, like the Great Pyramids at Giza. So if you look on it at the top right here, the certification from the OTAN that registers you as an organization, as any organization, any business you want to own, you have to go register it at the OTAN. And that is the pinnacle of any organization, any company, anything, whatever you want to do, anything. So without that, that has what we call a trickle-down effect. The first thing you need to do as a business or an organization like ours, as OBAFO, an NGO, any organization, you need to have to be registered at the OPAN and at the registry. And you need to pay the fees to get that. At one time, you used to just walk in at the office and do that. And this was many years ago when we first developed OBAFO. Now it is all online. Everything is online. They don't want to see you, they don't want to talk to you, they don't have a phone number. Everything, every coordination that you need to have with them now is online. So even the payment is online. So like I said, if you look at a pyramid, it's a trickle-down effect. Without that, that's the first step you need to do. You need to get that in place. Without that, you can't get a stamp, right? You can't get a stamp because the first thing they're going to ask you for is that certification from the government that you're a legal body and that you have the logo and that they are allowed to make the stamp for you. So you can't get a stamp made for Angela's Press. So that's the first thing. So the second thing is you cannot open a bank account. You cannot open a credit union account, bank account. So this, like I said, has a trickle-down effect. So you can't have either of those. So then, in effect, it causes you not to be able to collect funds because what you are doing the funds, I keep it in my pocket and then walk home with it. No. So it allows us, it puts us in a position where we can't even collect funds. We can't do any fundraising. We can't do barbecue sale. We can't do anything because nobody wants to hold on to this money. And we don't have no receipts because we can't write a receipt without putting our stamp on it. And we can't get a stamp because we don't have this certificate at the top here that we're talking about, right? From the bank. Then we can't deposit no money, we can't collect no money from no account. And in order to open a bank account, you need again what we need? We need the certificate from the bank, right? So everything is directly correlated back to the certificate from the bank. You can't achieve anything without that certificate because that's the first thing they're going to ask you for. Whether a bank account, whether it's a stamp, whatever it may be, whether it's a grant, whether we're getting funding, whatever it may be, you need that certificate in order to prove that you're a legally registered body. So currently, we're working on it. We've made several steps forward in progression of acquiring that stamp. As I said, we're not doing it solely by ourselves. We're working with Blue Ventures in achieving that goal. And again, all of this is by email because they don't talk to anyone on the phone and you can't go into the office anymore, right? So far we've made 2 payments to them. I personally have made those payments out of my bank account because again, you can't walk in and get cash or check or nothing. It has to be online. So I have personally take money out of my own account and pay for those transactions in order for us to further the progress. So that we can get the So if you look here carefully, I have 2 payments. These are the dates and the total of $100. And another payment again, if you look at the date at BCCARE registry, and another payment of $100, a different date, right? And so after you pay these, you get it's like unlocking a door. It's like you're in a maze. So after you unlock this, you make the payment for this. Then they work on it. You wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then they email it back and say, okay, that was successful. That part of it was successful. So now we need you to do this now and make this payment. Then you send another payment and then you wait and you hear back from them in about 2 or 3 weeks. And then they tell you, okay, you completed this step. Now there's another fee before one next fee. And so now we just get that notification. I think on Friday we got the notification that we need to pay another $100 for show. Basically, it's something like our financials, right? So in other words, it's not a stumbling stone. It's nothing because we don't have really any money coming in or anything to show like that. So it's not really a stumbling stone or a blocking point or anything. We just have to submit to them the documents that they're looking for, and then we're going to get past that other hurdle, past the next door, and then hopefully that's the last of it, and then we should be able to get our certification from the Waban that says we are a certified NGO body, right? So then once that we have that in our hand, physically in our hand, then we could start opening up a bank account. We could go to Angelo's Press and get a stamp. We could start collecting funds. So like I said, the trickle down effect starts then. Then we could start doing that part of the work for WAFA. So that's just to kind of give you a breakdown of more or less where we are right now and how far we've come. And just to make you know that we don't just the hardest thing on my hand. We do things, right? But just because it's not at the forefront or out there like that, or that's why we call these meetings here, so that we can address it and so that we know that we're putting in the work, we're doing the work, and we're trying to achieve certain things, certain goals. And I think so far we're making great progress, given, I don't want to sound like, you know, a typical politician where, why people are drop all of this thing here and we play it and we have to deal with kind of left a mess behind. No, it's just the reality of things. It's the way the thing is, and we have to work through it. That's the only way, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, the only way to get to the end of the tunnel is to continue through. So we just want to make you know, please have patience with it, but with the work on, right? So that's where we are currently with that. Any questions?
No, sounds good so far. From my understanding, they're saying that so WAFA is not fully registered yet.
WAFA hasn't been legally registered or re-registered as since 2015, since previous administration, and that's probably like about 2 cycles before we got it. So almost after me and Mark Thompson handed it over from the first organization, I don't think they had re-registered since then. So they haven't been legal for about two rounds, for about 2 sessions. So now that we got it back and we see what's going on and we're digging into things, now we're trying to correct those kind of things.
So you're going to try to register first before.
It's the only way. You can't do nothing without registration.
So nothing going right now because I'm registered.
Well, there are things going on, but they're not things directly related that has to do with funding, with us getting funding. I would say there is certain things that we can do because, for instance, we had an opportunity where we might be able to get a funding for a certain grant, but we're not going to get the money directly. We're going to have to ask another NGO to hold the money for we in a bank account because we don't have a bank account. So we're still trying to make things happen, and there's always a way we could try to make certain things happen. So we're still working. As I believe you were in a meeting with us maybe a few weeks ago, where WCS is offering opportunities for tour guides, for dive masters. So we are still working, but just not capable of collecting funds and use because of the situation currently, like I said, with the registration. Any questions? Any more questions?
So then, my question to you is, since you are addressing like that,
Yes.
so you just said you go to register, you go through the final process.
Yes.
So I was thinking of thinking that I pay for the letter with taxes. So I don't know how this happen.
Which?
The letter with taxes sent me for resign because
Okay, so
practice. No. We have to bring it up because
So
there's still
what's-
be a problem.
what's your question?
Yeah, the letter where you sent for Makai sending my resignation and what's not, right?
Is this part of the agenda?
Yeah, because that got through with that same thing, the registry. That got through with the
So
same.
what's your question?
My question is, okay, since Uno me don't know that we not registered.
Who is going to clarify who's going to?
Mr. What you doing, Mr. Thompson, because I want to just start the process,
Okay.
right? Because you just tell me the rock down the process for me what we need to do. So in that case, I get the letter, and the letter says that I know one side for some grant. We never registered some grant, and you clarified us that we can't get grant, we couldn't get grant because of that. So so you see how Uno kind of move, boss.
I'm sorry.
Procedure is procedure. I like the way how you broke it down step by step, right? So now my question is to okay, bam. Uno don't send up the thing, the names gone up, right?
up, your name was on the paper. But first, let me back up for a little bit. Let me explain something. When we had the meeting here, before, as Mr. Mahmoud explained, to do any of this process, you must have a digital wallet account. We can't pay, you can't go in and pay. So everything is done electronically. None of us, except Mr. Dwayne, had a digital wallet account. So then, I drafted a letter so that it's not right that Mr. Dwayne, we use Mr. Dwayne's account to do Wabafo's business. Wabafo must stand on its own. Now, for us to get the digital wallet account, we needed all the executive signatures. I sent in that letter with everybody name on it. Now, they requested everybody sign the letter and attach their ID. We had a meeting here, and I proposed that. I brought the letter, but the letter had spelling error in the names of Ms. Paula and Mrs. Pascaso. So I said, I have to redo the letter. Ms. Stone said, I'm traveling in the morning. Okay, fine. Ms. Paula asked, well, could you wait 1 hour? You'll have the letter. I don't travel late. That's from Ms. Stone. I sensed that there was something wrong. So then, I had it spewed off from her going to Italy. All right, let's stick a pin right there. I'll come back to that, but you need to get the picture of how we end up where we are. She was going to Italy and she said to me, Mr. Thompson, I got this opportunity to go to Italy. I said, no problem. What are you going to do? She couldn't tell me. So, I asked who you're going to do, who the sponsor is. And she explained that. So I called the country manager to find out, well, what we as Wabafo could do to make this stop. All right? Now, he couldn't tell me. He said, why Ms. Stone applied for that thing by loan? So I knew. I said, okay. I left it at that. Ms. Stone come back and said, I'm going to carry then they give him a table or a chair or something like that. So I said, well, you need to display them. So I tell her you need to call Nadine, Fishwicks, Miss Robinson of TNC. I said, then people could help you. I said, even Jeffrey Gomez, because if they can't help you with brochures and placards, you could then help you with money, because they think more overweight you. Anyway, he asked me for a letter, Stone asked me for a letter to give the consulate for the visa. So I did it. Get it. He gone to Salvador, Akana. How will he go? He said, why, we got a problem? You know, here on the visa, you have to come to Mexico. Come back to Greece, Ghana, Mexico. Get the visa, then Ghana, Rome, Italy. Akana will get the, how will he go? Yes, all the regional people do the presentation, and they have to decide between themselves to select one person. The person they are presented the following week to the heads of government that was there. I said, good. She come back. So we know that not my responsibility to come and explain that to the officials. That's her trip. That's her glory. You explain. So I tell her, I said to her, I suggest, hey, how we'll put some people on the executive group chat so everybody know what happened. Her words to me was, Wabafo don't pay for it. Because you didn't go under the officials' banner. Why do you not say Wabafo? I said, yes, we don't pay for it, but we support you. And that are the thing that caused the problem. Because then, when she refused to report, Mr. Palazzo said, all right, Mr. Thompson, explain why you called. You want to report? No, I don't report because he never had no right for call and they ask me where I'm going to do and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. I said, make we move on. And then the letter come up about, make we get the digital account. And then Ms. Stone said she will travel the following day. No, the morning, I prepared the letter and I put on the group chat, the letter is prepared, everybody need to sign. Ms. Stone said, I told you guys I'm traveling. I said, okay, why have you on the phone? I said, Ms. Stone, this is what will happen. Everybody must sign it. We are snapshot it, send it to you, you sign it, you print it, sign it, Snapchat it back, and send it back to us with your ID card. I never heard a word again from Ms. Stone. We try to reach out, no answer. I did talk to Mr. Brown. And he explained to me that the phone wouldn't work, and Mark may have some medical issues, so he had to travel out of the country. I said, okay, fine. I explained that to Blue Ventures, who is helping us getting this thing done. And they said, would you like for me to reach out to Ms. Stone? And I said, sure, go ahead. And they did. But today, Ms. Stone haven't signed the paper. So my alternative was to use Mr. McCoon's account because Wabafa can't stop because of me or anybody else. No. Lots of monies are out there. And to access the money, you must have your house in order. If the house is on fire, I can't wait for the fire truck. I have to help them something till the fire truck reach. And if we still refuse to sign the very piece of paper we need to have the digital account to pay the thing, I must do something else. So now, as Mr. McCoon explained, we are at the point, my last notice was that everything is in order. We just need to pay this last $100 so that we would get our certificate. And that is going to happen tomorrow. So now, if when Ms. Stone comes and says she is not going to report, I didn't have a problem. She already shared, I think, the best part of the trip with me, but she didn't share with them. And then Ms. Paula, as woman, is saying to her, well, you are representing the women too. We vote for you to go and be vice chair on that woman group. And she refused. So, for me, she can't represent me. Because my understanding is that whenever we go to seminars, training, we go to any consultation or whatever, we're supposed to come back and report something. That didn't happen. And today, she hasn't signed the document. But we are moving forward. Today, now, while we're there talking about grant, I already have 2 grants. But I can't get the funding because we don't have any bank account. But that will clear up soon. All right? Mr. Chen went to Honduras. And so I hope I answered the question because today is not a day for debate with Stu.
Answer my question. Whose name is on there?
Your name is not on there.
Thank you. So whose name is there?
Mr. Chen name is on there. Ms. Paula name is on there. Mr. Bakun name is on there. My name is on there. I have removed you from there.
Whose name?
I did not put anybody's name there.
7 persons to be on the executive board.
That's your opinion.
That's the bylaws.
That's
the
this is
bylaws.
not the day for that.
No, this
We
is the
could
day for
discuss
that.
the bylaws later on because I could prove you wrong. But
And then you can
my agenda here.
You have to watch your tone and answer, talk to me because that night over you really disrespect me and Mr. Chen and
we are moving ahead. We are moving ahead. And if you...
And using the fishers to move ahead.
Well,
Well,
I will say this and then I'll shut up about it. You quote, and I quote you are doing personal development under the fishers. Did you go to Italy? Did you go to Italy? Under the fishers?
Your big problem, you upset for this Italian trip. Why I couldn't take somebody with me?
When they put the next agenda,
I
then you look for room.
couldn't apply everybody with me. Your further, that'll be your problem.
Look, we get this
I'm
one.
like telling you fly
And they are waiting
plane.
now. Attend to me on the man stand.
I have no argument with this. All right, now, Mr. Chen, I have the next on the agenda was Mr. Chen going to a tri-state program, and he has something to say, and I would like for him to come up and say what he has to say.
The man wants to give
I was selected by previous executive. I was selected by a previous executive who was with Vanessa Dawson and Mr. John Thomas, who was the chair and vice chair of Prince Wabagari, even though they were not legally active. But let me try one thing same way. Anyhow, I was selected by them to go to a tri-national forum in Puerto Cortes, Honduras. And the trip came up a couple of weeks ago, and I went. Basically, what the trip was organized by Tide. Tide is a NGO from down Toledo, from PG, They was the organizers of the trip, and we went. They selected a number of officials from Damriga to go down all the way to Punta Gorda. That's me from Hopkins, Georgetown, St. Bite, Monkey River, all the way down to PG. Okay, we went on this forum. Each country had the opportunity to present, to present what they had spoke about in that forum. And while Belize gathered, we had spoke about one of the main things we mentioned. We have always mentioned it when we have gathering like this, about the illegal fishing that the Hondurans and the Guatemalans does here in Belize. So that was one of the main points that we were discussed because that they try maintain or try call it no take zone and conserve them. Okay? So that's basically where the forum was all about, to try protect certain things. You check, and Honduras present first, and for their presentation came as a surprise to all the Belizeans and women today. Because the first thing came out of the Honduran man mouth was that they know that the Hondurans, they come across a Belize and do a lot of illegal things, right? Harvest the fish, harvest the conch, harvest the lobster. They know that, but it is the government of Honduras who is not pressuring for their fishers or enforce for their fishers to do what is right. They also said that they like the laws what Belize passed to the fishers. You check like when you come to the gill net, they mention that upright.
when it comes to the no-take zone in the different areas they mentioned as upright, you know. So they, Guatemala came on and basically spoke the same thing. But one of Guatemala issue where one lady, because it was a lady who presented for Guatemala, and she said Guatemala just have a spoonful of water, right? And it's very hard for the Guatemalan to get the amount of product where they want, you know. Hence the reason the illegal things happen. You check, but that's not for we issue a business, you know. We issue a business that we make sure everything goes smooth for them to make them not do what illegal, I believe. You check. So one next thing what I mentioned earlier about the gilnet. They try the different associations out there, they try hard to make them get rid of the gilnet. Because when the Hondurans they go to Guatemala for buying the gilnet mesh is supposed to be 3 inches. But when they pass with the gilnet, once the 3 inches wrap up, because the authorities know a Lego all in it to see where the gilnet. Check. Among the 3-inch gilnet they have the smaller mesh. You check? And that is something where it's illegal that Honduras to use less than 3-inch mesh, according to the guy who did the presentation now. So he said that one of the issue where they have Honduras when it comes to the gilnet. Like what I said, we were very surprised to hear it from them because we never expect that they may come up with the truth like that, you know. But basically that the essence of the forum that took place, you know. So that's my presentation.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Paula did some training as well, and she would like to share something.
Good evening, everyone. I just would like to share some good activities that I did over the week, 2 months back. I was a part of data collection for WCS. Me and Michelle, member of WABAGO. We were out there collecting fish data. 3 of our fishers from Damruga won some prizes. That was 1, 2. I just last week, for 3 days, I attended a workshop also with WCS. I was a part of a drama show, right? So they will be making stories about fishers, and they will be airing it out sometimes too. And what else? Yeah, that's some activities that I did these couple of weeks. Just would like to share a reminder for the 4th and 5th of November. We'll be having port authorities to do boat licensing, right? Don't forget. That's it.
All right, thank you. Lastly, I'd like to, before you guys go, I'd like to share something that there's 300 and odd persons who have received funds. I don't know if you guys listened to the House meeting yesterday. And I encourage Friday, sorry, where 340 persons received funding from the DFC funds. Now, I sat in a meeting with them, with the DFC crowd and the organization that is pushing that information. And I explained to them that it's difficult why they ask why Damruga, Hopkins, and South is not participating in the program. $1.8 million got issued already, and 90% of it went north. So I said they must have a different kind of scale that you use to approve them, because they're building boats, they're building ice boxes in boats, and all the funding is going up there. Here we have an issue with our organization because there's so much restriction. There's fees up front and on the back end, and so it's difficult for us to qualify for whatever loans they have. Now, to soften the blow, I think they passed a law that now you could use your boat or as collateral to get in there. But I still don't think it go far enough.
But you know the same thing there, that loan, they make up loan and grant out at the same money. I think. The DFC, they pass the money to? The organization pass the money to DFC.
Government, yeah. You see what happened is this. The government is swapping conservation for money.
The blue ventures thing.
The blue economy.
Yeah, the blue economy.
Yeah, listen. Conservation, wherever you see conservation, you put fishermen.
They have to?
Because the conservation is against the fisher folks. We are the ones who are being restricted from going different places. No, the government just mentioned we have to expand the conservation zone. So now what is that going to do for us as fishers? We Wabagari need to advocate on that. We have, because we have sent in letters to fisheries concerning our zone here, zone 3.
Yeah, zone 3.
We received the data, 25 pages of fishers licensed for zone 3. 25 pages. Any of you know about statistics? I will gladly share it with you. And then you tell me what percentage of all of the fishers are in our zone. We need to co-manage our zone. This is our house. This is where we don't go to Sardinia. So, WCS is trying to co-manage it. That's a conservation zone, a conservation body. So they are in for more restrictions. What we need to do, we need to team up, probably with the Hopkins organization, and co-manage. We need to have a seat at the table.
Yeah,
Wabagari have been sitting there waiting for the crumbs to drop from the table.
No, even that they happen.
We need to stop this foolishness and come and hear what's going on, participate in what's going on, or we're not going anywhere. I did this 2017, I left Wabagari. And I came back, and Wabagari didn't do anything in the last time. We're not talking about them, no. We're talking about, no, we need to make a difference. And we need everybody on board to make the difference.
Which other area they do for conservation? And because they pass something and
The conservation expansion is for Turnef, for Grover's Reef, and up Bacalar Chico. They are going to widen it. No, the fine print says that you could still fish in the area, but you can't take shot from the area. All 3 areas. You know, they passed the gillnet route, and the gillnet was from shore to reef. They stopped the people in the river valley. Gillnet is banned. You can't have a gillnet down in there. And that, they were not part of that deal. They were not part of it. But who stand up for them? They're still fishers.
yeah, but remember, they from up north, they put gillnet in the river and they take it away from them. You can say gillnet movie.
Okay, so as in reference to grants, like I said, we have access to 2 grants. And we're waiting for confirmation on one, and we have one guaranteed. Small grant, but it would help because, firstly, we want to thank the mayor for allowing us to use this. He saw us in the park and said, hey, no, come here. So we need to thank, but we need our own place. When we inherit Wabagari, they didn't have a place. We need to have a place. And so I'm in conversation with the fisheries department to get an office where with them in their office down by the gas station. And that should happen shortly. So, that's the things those are the things that are in progress. Those are the things that we're working on. And I want to thank you guys for coming. Yes, sir.
If we have a grant, let's say we have a grant, where is grant going for? On what the grant going on?
Right. Let me explain to you how a grant works.
And that's how you work. If you get it, what you are doing with the grant? It's how you are spending on what?
That's what I'm going to explain to you. What a grant is. When you apply for a grant, we have what's called a concept note. And there's deadlines to meet. Okay? You write your concept note. That's the note that says, okay, for instance, I'm going to do restoration of the beach. So then, you are going to put in there just bullet statements of how you plan to do that restoration. If there's funding for it. In fact, before that, you have to go in and see when they have the call for proposal. You have to go in and see what's there. What can we do? How? Yes, and when you find one that you can do, let's say that was one, and you send in your concept note. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how long it's going to take. This is what it's going to cost. That's how you do that. You send that in within the time, the deadline. They approve it. Then you have to expand on all those bullet statements and say exactly how you plan to get that big boulder from wherever to there. And you're going to contract it, you have a truck, that's when that come in. And once you could explain that with the funding, then that satisfies the funders, you're awarded the grant. After you get the grant, my friend, you can't just take that $100,000 and spend it how you want. You must address all those items. That's how it works. You can't just spend your money anywhere because there's an audit, accountability, where you must show. They don't give you all the money one time. They will say, okay, Mr. Emilio, you're going to get $50,000. No, and no, you must manage that when it covers these line items, because they'll come and check the deliverables. You said you're going to put boulders, I want to see the boulders. And they're going to check you every penny with your bank receipts. Or your receipt from if you contract somebody, you contract that man right there. You got to show they have to balance out before the next disbursement comes. If weather comes in, you must write to them and say, hey, weather delay, I can't meet the deadline, I need an extension. Prior to. There's lots of restrictions. And at the end, please, when you get your grant, read the fine note. Because if you misspend that money for anything else, you are liable for it, and you have to put it back. That's how the grant works.
Yes, I commend you for that, because, and I'm saying this because a lot of organizations in Belize, and that's very, very, very intelligent. You outline everything, how it's supposed to. That's one thing I gather from your explanation. Because a lot of people feel like because they get a grant, man, keep the money, man, buy this, man, buy that. So for my organization, I work in a corporate organization. It helps me and hopefully help the people that are watching this right now. Sometimes they say $100,000 grant, but sometimes $100,000 don't go nowhere. You know why? Because you start it, that's just a consultation for it. Man say $200,000. No, you can't do with that. You can't have your money. Our organization, they give you the money to make you process it. So people online right now, please understand that I really like the explanation, and that's how it works. You know, that's exactly how it works. But I see Mr. Black was asking what they were spending on. I think maybe it's for the building, right?
Well, I explained it, I gave him an example. Because then I can't just go apply for a grant. no idea what's there. I first have to search when I get the call for proposal. I must go and look at what is there and how my organization fits into it. You know, nobody just give you the money. And now you have to want to explain how that process works. They examine that. Then they call you to come and meet the board. And you now must explain how you plan to do that and answer any question that they have. Once you satisfy that, then they meet and they say, yeah, we approve that, or by the show that to disapprove.
Okay, Mr. Thompson, just for a clarification point, you are saying that when you go in there, you are going for your grant. No, they have for their class different grants for different things. So now you can say, okay, I go in for grant for maybe for buildings, and if that's not a agenda with people who they give grant, I get that. So okay, that's the way it's trying.
Yeah, you can, and even if you say, let's say like the example I gave Mr. Black. We are doing restoration to the beach. Okay, now you get the money. And you will do something else. Contrary to that, you in a trouble. You everything have a line item, everything have a deliverable. And you must meet the deadline and you must deliver that.
What happens to the money that's left over? What happens to the money that is left over?
Okay, yes. When there's money left over, you either return it, or you must be smart enough to say, you know what? While I'm going to do this right there, while I'm going to do this whole thing, we need to do a beach cleanup. And no, you can't just take them when you're going to beach cleanup. No, you have to write to them and ask permission to do that beach cleanup. Then you have to receive approval to do that beach cleanup. And then you could use that money to do the beach cleanup. Because you know what happened? When they come and audit you at the end, and let's say how $1,000 over, and that $1,000 was not added as beach cleanup, guess who paid that back? You. Thank you. That's how it works. So nobody, not let anybody tell you anything about, oh, you would just take the money and do it. Yes, you could, but you'll pay for it. And you mess up your name with any other organization. Wabagari have a good name, by the way. Wabagari completed a grant already. Successful completion. So Wabagari is in good standing to move ahead. That we now need to come on board. We now need to push forward to make it happen.
Now one more question, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind. So the agenda for this meeting is almost we already gone through it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so follow-up meeting with this to address the situation is Veronica too. That's my only question. Is she still a member of this beautiful, hard-working, responsible association, WAWAFO?
I gave Ms. Stone collectively, we signed a letter and we gave it to Ms. Stone. All right? Ms. Stone had an opportunity to explain herself and she chose not to. So we have a responsibility to make sure Wabagari go forward. And if somebody chooses not to do certain things to make it happen, it is my responsibility as the chair to make sure the house doesn't burn down before you find out. And let me add this. When she refused to sign that document, I had a deadline to turn in a concept note for $75,000 grant on the 25th of August.
Yeah, but she's still a part of the...
No.
She's not a part of WAWAFO.
But Mr. Thompson, you said the organization wasn't registered.
Yeah. Well, how do you get registered? say how we get registered? Thank you. No, we are in the process of doing it. No, what you might not have understood is this. You see this right here? That's the intent to register the company. Once you pay for your TO, that's your ticket that you take to any organization and say, the process has begun. Without this, you can't even put in a concept note.
Yes, but who owns Wabafu?
The fishers.
Does the fishers make them? The fishers. Does the fishers make those decisions?
To fight for the fishers.
That's what I want.
It is an organization to fight for the fishers, not for one set of people to benefit.
Thank you. So my question is...
What was the importance of that document that this lady didn't sign, sir?
The importance of that document that she didn't sign did not allow us
To get a grant?
Did you want it?
Listen, no. If you
You
don't have,
distinctly said in the beginning it was so that did you want it? So please
if
don't
you
say
don't
no.
have the Digi wallet, remember now, you don't go into the registry and pay for this thing. You have to pay for it online.
But if you say no, so say if today Miss Toon said, right, okay, I will sign it today. If she says she has signed it today, right? You already say that it's not complete because you still have to finish that. It's in process, right? So Miss Toon said today, right, Mr. Thompson, I don't know, but I reconsider because whatever, I don't know what reason, I'm signing it today. What is that? An official that I want to put her in.
Look, nothing is dead, you know.
Okay, good.
Nothing is dead.
All right.
We could always talk and consider because everybody make mistakes.
All right,
If
good.
I make a mistake, I am willing to say I did make a mistake. But what she did, remember now, what she did stopped me from meeting that deadline on the 25th of August. And I could not because this didn't go in
So
to
that's
meet
why-
that deadline.
That's why
And so if you are doing that, why is she doing this? Because I called to find out what she was going to do out there and how we could help her. That's the reason he asked her.
Well, like from my gather now, Mr. Thompson, seem like a fair person. And if she, like you said, you guys are willing to reconsider whatever it is, she's here. We can move forward with everybody.
It's on her.
Okay.
Again, lastly, because I said this wasn't that kind of meeting, right? But lastly, I'll help you along.
Wait.
In Miss Vanetta's notes, she said Wabafu isn't going anywhere. No. For you to say that, what does that tell you with your radio station? What does that say to you with your radio station?
You did dig.
Well,
I am not digging anything. That's what you said.
you say, yeah, you're saying the past, Mr. Thompson. I hear you.
You understand
I understand what you're saying. No, the entire big picture is you're saying now that if they reconsider, as you as a chair, as a fair person, all of us, let's move on together as a people and make it work this thing out because I hear we have a lot of grants out there. We have things that happen out there where Wabafu have to move. Make we work along with this tune. You as the chairman, everybody, make we work together and make everything done.
We
I
will,
love it.
just like you asked the question, I'll answer you. Listen to me. Mr. Dwayne, Mr. Palacio, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Pascasio, and Ms. Estero all make the decision. So whatever Ms. Stone decides to do,
Miss
must
Admin
go
did
back.
sign on that paper.
Miss
Miss Admin did sign the paper. Okay, let me clear something, right?
I get the
It was not, it was the attitude. It's the attitude behind this thing. Yes, there is. She got one. It's in the chat group.
You know, this is the one. This is
She
the
got
one.
it. She got it before. She got it
Mr.
before.
Thompson, my question is to you. All right. My question, my question to you is, all right, since we're starting the
All right,
procedure,
listen to me.
let me ask a question, please answer the question.
What's the question?
Since when they follow procedure, I don't get appointed there by Jane, you, no Paulo, nobody else going to do it. No Abigail or Pascal. I get elected by fish. You shouldn't be here.
Good question.
And that's, let me finish up this, right? So, we don't meet with fishers, but we get elected. So nobody know who sits what but only by one amount. Okay, so the next question is, like you said, you are the boss, you are the captain, and everybody must say what you said. Chen, you said that, so no, please. And I an obstacle in our battle to make us move forward. You said that, so please don't change it. The day at the meeting, the 1st of September, Chen, you was inside my house. We made communicate, Chen.
What's the question?
We made communicate. Communicate good. All right. Miss Stone, you know what? We need to do this for time. So we remove 5 times. We need to move time. So I tell her, Chen, you're sure what you said? All right. We need to move time. So I don't know moving time. So may I be one switch around and move me instead. Right? You in my house, you said that.
On a Sunday like today.
Exactly.
Right?
I will repeat. But Sister Chen, you know what? 2 times you're going to stop. And I tell you the truth. Uno one say only represent Fisher, but uno know the work right, my brother. Me, when everybody know. And you see me, I get half and NGO and I think Miss Stone, why this letter out? Which money to collect on behalf of Wabagari? Mr. Thompson, I need proof for that. For whom, when, and where I collect money, and which resource I distribute to Wabagari, because to my knowledge, I know we don't have none. That's the way I write in the letter. So I just return back the letter. You answer me back in an email. Please answer me back in an email.
How could I answer a letter that you receive money and I know nothing about it?
Thank you that you write the letter.
You bring the letter to me.
This is the letter where you send me, Yeah, the letter will be in public. You send the letter public, Mr. Keys.
That letter has nothing to do with monies.
You see?
You see?
He wrote
I wrote the letter, but I know what I wrote in the letter.
What do you write in the letter?
That's why I asked you.
I explained, you know what?
Mr. T, do you know exactly where the letter? You say, yes, I can write it. Thank you. That's why I respond back to your letter.
And that's
And I
why.
work with my last time. I said I give you 14 years notification to prove to me. And I email the letter to Wabagari. I not email it to your personal email because if you are sending me a letter on behalf of Wabagari, you need to attach that to Wabagari and not your personal email. Because that is disrespectful to officials. If you're working through Wabagari, work through Wabagari, not a personal email. That's my concept right here.
Then you talk about all the people. You talk about all the people. You talk about all the people.
You know, I want to thank you guys for coming. Whatever questions you guys have, I hope I have answered it. Hey.
Hey.
Hey.